Hello again. I'm here to share an issue that has unfortunately gone unnoticed with the V10 controller for a while, and then some exciting news about my new app and website. The issue I just mentioned was of insufficient vetting current to get a reliable signal through the pop-up mechanical switch. I roughly explained how the pop-up system works on a Toyota Celica in one of my older videos, but just to recap, we have this switch on each pop-up. It works by having three contact plates that slide along a rotating copper disc that has two cutouts. The middle plate is in contact at all times and is the input. The other two plates are the outputs and they are in contact until the pop-up reaches the desired position and then their contact is broken. So if you wire a relay coil in the output pin and the relay contact to the motor and then selectively ground either the up or down output pins, the relay coil will be activated until the pop-up reaches the desired position. The two switches are wired together in the factory wiring, which makes it a bit of a pain to read individual positions, but that's a topic for another time. Anyway, the contacts and the disc are coated in grease. They may also not have great contact at all times during the movement. Now, I made a silly mistake in the V10 design and only used about 5 to 8 milliamps when sensing the switch position. This current proved to be insufficient. The issue was especially noticeable after some downtime where the pop-up was not moving. What I suspect is that the grease started shifting and covered the contact area in a light film. What happened the next time the pop-up was used is that once the switch encountered such areas, or bounced a little or encountered some small non-contact area during the movement, the signal would get lost because it was not powerful enough to penetrate the grease or the light corrosion. In practice, the pop-up would stop too soon, like midway through the movement. So I tried increasing the current, and on my second iteration of hotfixing, I switched to 66 to 83 milliamps, which should be the same amount of the current the factory light retractor used. With this, I hopefully managed to save the batch of 15 V10 boards. Unfortunately, two controllers got shipped before they got this hotfix, so I'm in touch with the respective customers and will provide a replacement if it's not working well. And that is it for the problem. If you ever get some weird behavior when working with greased switches or some other switches exposed to the elements, double check if you have sufficient current to break through the grease film or the surface corrosion. Now onto some more pleasant news. Let's check out a new app I made. It can connect to a V10 pop-up controller and read out some information, edit settings, or even flash new firmware. It also helps me do some initial setup like configure manufacturer data or calibrate the voltage readout. Let's check out some of the menus like statistics, where you will be able to see how long the controller ran, how much each pop-up has moved, and how many times you pressed the buttons. Woohoo! Then we have a settings page to configure out a bunch of stuff, including some safety features like sleepy eye mode or the remote inputs working even when the headlights are on. More information about the app will be on my website, which leads us to the next topic, the website. So until now I have released all my documentation and stuff on my Google Drive. Now this works, but it's kinda meh. I have been planning some sort of website for some time now, but I was gonna launch it with my shop later this year when I had the clock replacement module working too. But I found out you can host some stuff free on GitHub, and I did want to improve the documentation a lot, so I figured this was a great opportunity. For now, there is only the pop-up control page, and it only really has the user guide, which is still a work in progress, and the firmware flashing guide. There's definitely the installation guide, app guide, and more coming, but it'll take some time. Let me know what you guys think. Personally, I think this looks pretty cool, and I like it much more than the PDFs. I have some plan for adding QR codes to my products in the future, so you could scan it and it would take you to the website with the guides. I think that would be also pretty cool. A quick thing I just want to mention, I made 3 open source GitHub projects. You can find the firmware source code, the app source code, and the webpage source code if you're interested. I'm leaving the links in the description. The firmware project will have firmware zip file releases with improvements in the future, because there's definitely several things I want to add to the firmware which aren't there yet. And that's about it. I will continue working on the remaining V10 revision C sets while I'm also creating more guides for the new webpage and possibly the improvements to the firmware. After that is done, which should be in 2 to 3 weeks, I will start working on the AC install and the new clock replacement. I'm not sure what the next video is gonna be about. Maybe I will make a YouTube short for the controller lol. Sounds like it could be fun. Oh well, see you next time, whenever that will be.